Hello guys. So this isn't a new video. This is what I won't call it a continuation. So I had some little bit of a challenge with the previous tutorial, which is the one in which we created what you see on screen, and basically it was that we couldn't see my menus and my options um, while I was going through the tutorial. So I'm back with the same tutorial, just trying to make sure that everything is in place. So I'm just going to add something to this scene, and after which we'll call it a day. So what I want to do is let me cut to the main window. So good, now we can see my mouse and my menus and quad menus whenever I click on them. All right, so I'm just going to add a plug to this outlet, perhaps on the floor. I think I'll just add it straight in, as if something were to be plugged to it. So let's see now. I'm just gonna add, let me use, I think I could use a line. Yep. And I'm just going to draw, or let's do it like this. So I'm going to draw a box, and as usual I always say that you can use different methods to achieve the same thing. I'm going to come to wall outlet, and let me just maximize this view so that you can see it clearly. I'm going to use a rectangle spline, and I'm going to drag this here, 1, 2, 3. Right, like so. So I have something to the exact size of the plug, which are the lines. I'm going to convert this quickly to right click, convert to editable spline, and I'm going to attach the remaining 2. Where's that attach now? Attach pin 1, pin 2. So if I take this and drag it around, we have that. So I'm going to take this back. This is my perspective viewport, and I'm going to bring this a little bit back, and I'm going to isolate just for a little bit. From the modifier panel, this is your modifier panel, drop it down, modifier list. I'm going to add bevel, bevel modifier, and okay, so it's taking the last set of values that I used, but I don't need the bottom part of this bevel, so I'm going to zero out level 1, height, and outline. I'm going to give this a little bit more height. That's same, let's say 3, it's fine. And I think this looks good. So I'm going to sometimes I like to just collapse and have an actual object. So but before I do that, I'm going to do this. I'm going to shift and drag, And here's that menu I was talking about previously, copy instance reference. Copy is an independent copy instance, manipulates all of the copies, and reference, basically what happens to the original does not happen to the duplicate or the other way around. All right, so I'm gonna hit OK. I'm going to call it socket pin, and let's say socket pin copy. So I'm just going to hide that, hide selection, and I'm going to collapse this by converting to an editable poly. Now I have a polygon. I can't run down that stack to a spline anymore. So I'm going to go to the sub object level vertex, and the top plug, the top plug, or rather the top pin, usually is longer, so I'm going to bring this slightly forward, and there we go. All right, so from here on, I'm just going to put in the actual holder. And what kind of holder should we build? Let's use a circular one. So I'm going to use a circle, and right about there, and bringing this down just a little bit. Okay. Convert this to an editable spline, and I should have a vertex at this bottom point. I'm going to bring this slightly up this way. Let's bring this up like this. And I think that looks okay for me. Okay, so I'm going to bring this backwards of those pins, and I'm going to make use of the bevel. There you are. So what I want to do with this instead is I want the bevel the other way, that inwards. So I'm going to take out the minus I have here, enter, and give it a little bit more of a height. Let's say 4. That's fine by me. Bring this back, and I think that the height is too much, so I'm going to use 2, and I'm going to bring this back. This will be point 0.2 and 4, but I think I'm going to use that for a minus. Oh no, what am I doing? Height, outline, not minus 4, minus 0.4. Okay, I think I'm going to bring this up. I think it's fine. I'll just leave that. So from this point, I think I want to add some thickness in there. So I'm going to add another modifier. It's editable poly. I could collapse this by right clicking, and I could collapse this by right clicking and convert to editable poly, but now I'm just going to add this in as a modifier, and I'm going to pick this pick this, and I'm just going to extrude this just a tiny bit. Going to use this dialog that I have here, and just going to increase this till I'm satisfied. I think that's fine. Good. Okay, so whoops. Undo and hit OK. All right, so finally we're almost done. Going to bring this together just to add a little bit of a touch in there. I'm going to select just this face, and I'm going to, is that tessellate, add in some more polygons in there, and vertex, just going to slightly drop that in. Okay, I think that's okay. All right, so we've got our plug. I'm gonna change this to white, and okay, for you, let's leave that sub-object level. I think I can use this color and make it darker. Hit OK. Now it's just okay. So I have two options. I could attach this, make it one, but instead I'm just going to select both of them, and I'm going to group and call this my plug, and hit enter. And you know, come to think about it, I probably didn't need the tessellate because of what I had in mind. I'm going to end isolate scene, and I'm just going to just gonna zoom in on this. I'm going to gently, I just said gently like I'm going to drop it. Okay, so I'm going to have this on the floor right here, and I will turn it just a little bit along the Z, and have it just on the side here. Okay, so for the cable, and you know what, just to show that we've done a little bit of work, I'm going to have this line its side just like this, something like this, and that the other way. I'm going to move this, that's the floor plane, set it down here, and bring it backwards towards the wall. All right, so I'm going to fix in a cable now, and I'm just going to use a simple spline for that, a line, and I'm going to draw from my front viewport, and I would adjust afterwards. There is an option that allows you to draw across different views, I think. Okay, so that's I'm going to just give me a second, let me check this out. Okay, so I'm going to draw across the view with the knobs curve. So I'm going to start right here, and I want it on the floor. I want the very first point to come up this way, and the second to follow, like so. So because of the thickness, I'm going to raise this up just a little bit. Probably adjust it again later. Okay, so so let's see if this is possible. So the difference anyway is this allows you a little bit more flexibility, and I could as well just also draw the line and have the same effect. Now I could, let's see, this allows me, where's my creation cylinder? I could just right here draw this. Should have this in this viewport, bring this back, and I could reduce the radius rather, just a little bit. Height, I have some sides and some segments for the height, and I could do, if I'm not mistaken, what I did before with the pipe by using path deform and picking the line or the knobs line I just created, and I move to path, and of course click through to see the one that works for me. You can move it, that's how short what I created is or was. So I could stretch it with the option here, and increase the percentage for it to get all the way up, and we're almost there. All I have to do is go back to the cylinder level and add more height segment, maybe in this case a little bit more, and there we go. So I'm going to bring my points, I can't remember dragging it this far anyway. No, not you. I need to select the curves or the curve, and pick the point. What are you doing all the way here? I want you back here within the camera view. I think there's one more point right here. Okay, so I think I overstretched the cylinder. First of all, I'm going to bring this up, bring this down so it's on the floor. And I'll go back into the, let's leave this point, select the cylinder, reduce the stretch, let's say about 4, it's fine. And my plug is on the floor, right? Yes, it is. And I'm going to just put a chamfered box right here to represent a power distribution brick, something like this. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust that a little bit. Adding a little bit of a fillet. And for the line, at the very end of the line, so here's my line. That should be on the edit. Tools. Okay, never mind, whatever it is I was looking for. Okay, so I got my line. Nope, I didn't have my line selected, so curve point, select the end of this point, and I'm going to bring it up to the level of the brick. I think that works just fine. I'm going to change the color of this to black. And oh, wrong item. I'm going to change this to white. I'll change the cylinder to nope. I changed the cylinder to white, I guess. Okay, so I could have the points or the pinholes on the power brick, but I'd consider that a little bit unnecessary since I'm not too close to the item. So I've added this to the scene, and right clicking on everything, we can see that everything is fine. So subsequently in other tutorials, I don't think we should have such problem. And previously you couldn't see my render, so this is it. Maybe that's a wrong view. Cancel. Let's render my camera view. So this is what it looks like. I think my plug is just slightly above the ground, so I'm just going to go in there and adjust this just a tad bit. I think that fixes it. Let's render again. So if you're following from previous tutorial, I just added